the evolution and maturation of the protagonist, Bilbo Baggins, is central to the story. This journey of maturation, where Bilbo gains a clear sense of identity and confidence in the outside world, may be seen in psychological terms as a Bildungsroman rather than a traditional quest. The Jungian concept of individuation is also reflected through this theme of growing maturity and capability, with the author contrasting Bilbo's personal growth against the arrested development of the dwarves. Thus, while Gandalf exerts a parental influence over Bilbo early on, it is Bilbo who gradually takes over leadership of the party, a fact the dwarves could not bear to acknowledge. The analogue of the underworld, and the hero returning from it with a boon, such as the ring, or elvish blades, that benefits his society, is seen to fit the mythic archetypes regarding initiation and male coming of age as described by Joseph Campbell. Chance compares the development and growth of Bilbo against other characters to the concepts of just kingship versus sinful kingship derived from the Ancrene Wis, which Tolkien had written on in 1929, and a Christian understanding of Beowulf, a text that influenced Tolkien's writing. Shippey comments that Bilbo is nothing like a king, and that Chance's talk of types just muddies the waters. Though he agrees with her that there are self-images of Tolkien throughout his fiction. And she is right, too, in seeing Middle-earth as a balance between creativity and scholarship, Germanic past and Christian present. The overcoming of greed and selfishness has been seen as the central moral of the story. Whilst greed is a recurring theme in the novel, with many of the episodes stemming from one or more of the characters' simple desire for food, be it trolls eating dwarves or dwarves eating wood elf fare, or a desire for beautiful objects, such as gold and jewels. It is only by the Arkenstone's influence upon Thorin that greed, and its attendant vices, coveting, and malignancy, come fully to the fore in the story and provide the moral crux of the tale. Bilbo steals the Arkenstone, a most ancient relic of the dwarves, and attempts to ransom it to Thorin for peace. However, Thorin turns on the Hobbit as a traitor, disregarding all the promises and, at your services, he had previously bestowed. In the end, Bilbo gives up the precious stone and most of his share of the treasure to help those in greater need. Tolkien also explores the motif of jewels that inspire intense greed that corrupts those who covet them in the Silmarillion, and there are connections between the words Arkenstone and Silmaril in Tolkien's invented etymologies. The Hobbit employs themes of animism, an important concept in anthropology and child development. Animism is the idea that all things, including inanimate objects and natural events, such as storms or purses, as well as living things like animals and plants, possess human-like intelligence. John D. Rateliff calls this the Dr. Dolittle theme in the history of The Hobbit, and cites the multitude of talking animals as indicative of this theme. These talking creatures include ravens, a thrush, spiders and the dragon Smaug, alongside the anthropomorphic goblins and elves. Patrick Curry notes that animism is also found in Tolkien's other works, and mentions the roots of mountains and feet of trees in The Hobbit as a linguistic shifting in level from the inanimate to animate. Tolkien saw the idea of animism as closely linked to the emergence of human language and myth. Quote, "The first men to talk of trees and stars saw things very differently. To them, the world was alive with mythological beings. To them the whole of creation was myth-woven and elf-patterned." Quote,